Well, it is
Yeah.
10 o'clock. Sorry. I'm not John Kelsey. I'm John Ziegler, and I and Jim Bowman will host today. I won't speak for Jim, but I'm not nearly as good as Mr. Kelsey is. He and Tina, I believe, are at the Jersey Shore for the week, so he should be back next week. I've been out for a couple weeks, but I think this is number 271. Um, so welcome. I see some faces here that I don't think that I know. Raise your hands, folks, if you're new to the coffee hour. Okay, Lowell, I thought so. So tell us a bit about yourself, Lowell. Welcome.
Go.
You're
There
muted.
we are.
There you go.
Uh, I started turning when I was in school in the junior high, going into high school, and
Wow.
I had to give it up to live my life. Did the military gig. Married my sweetie. We celebrated our 48th anniversary last week, and raised family. Just under 5 years ago, I retired and said, well, time to do something that I want to do rather than what I have to do. So I bought my lathe and took some online courses and refreshed myself. Uh, I wish I could ask my dad, some of these things, but unfortunately, dad's passed away, and he was a woodworker from forever ago, loved cabinetry and wood turning and the like. And as of as of Monday, uh, I am last Monday. I volunteered to teach at the high school, and one day a week, and that's exciting to me because I love kids. As a youth pastor early in life, I we saw lots of kids come through our group, and on we go. I live
Wow.
in Washington State. This is an early morning for me, so you know I love to get up at the crack of noon, but unfortunately, I gotta kick myself up about five hours to attend this.
A
But
little bit early. Yeah.
yeah, John invited me a month or so ago, and here I am.
Well, that's wonderful. I hope you will share some of your work with us.
I'd love to.
Great. Well, welcome. Um,
Thank you.
is there anyone else that is new to the group? Jim Wattam.
Yeah, my name is Jim Wattam. I'm a woodturner from Lewis, Delaware. I'm secretary of the First State Woodturners. We've got about 100 members here in Delaware, one of whom is the illustrious Jim Bowman.
Oh, all right.
Wow. Thanks, Jim. I never had that definition given to me.
Um, I have been a hobbyist flat woodworker my whole life, probably 60 years, but had never taken up wood turning till about 6 years ago when I thought just before the pandemic was perfect timing. Thought, well, it's something I really ought to give a try to, and I must say, ever since then, my deepest regret in life has been that I didn't take this up 50 years ago. It's been
That's
clearly
true.
the most fun I've ever had in the shop, and certainly wish I had done it earlier. But it's been a lot of fun since I took it up. I do primarily segmented turning, not exclusively, but segmented for the most part, and try to do some interesting stuff, as Jim has seen in some of the show and tells that we have. So fun
Well,
stuff.
I second your notion about wishing I had gotten into this sooner. My grandfather was a woodworker. He's a builder, woodworker, antique fixer-upper, and he turned on an old Delta lathe. And my brother still has it and claims he's going to use it, although I don't know that that's ever going to happen. But I wish that I had started this many, many years ago, but this is my third year, and I'm loving this group that we've got here. It's been so wonderful. I think everybody agrees with that. So welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, Jim is one of those guys that when he has show and tell, you go, "Oh my gosh, I can't even get close to that kind of work." You know,
Don't you love those kind of people, huh?
I know they just make me feel like I got to dig in, and
It made me feel like, gosh, you just put everything to the side and just focus on this, right? Okay, well, so thank you, folks. I don't think there's anybody else here that's new to the group. So we'll do some quick club news. Lancaster, well, we have the Mid-Atlantic Woodturning Symposium Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday in Lancaster this week. Barry Price, past president of Lancaster Area Woodturners, made a Japanese lathe for Eko Tanaka, who was going to be one of the demonstrators. And Eko and her husband Masa-san and Barry and Angelo and I spent yesterday at our wood turning meeting place at Kaufman's, basically tearing down and rebuilding parts of the lathe that Barry made so that Eko-san could use it the way or close to the way she wants to use it. So that will be really interesting to watch her turn. And then upcoming news for Lancaster. John's not here, obviously, but I'm hoping he's going to do a demo for us, if not action, but at least a slideshow of his favorite rabbit hole magic boxes. So that may be coming up in October. So that's us. That's it for Lancaster, I think. Other club news.
Quad State Bodgers meets this Saturday. Dustin Davis is going to be doing our demonstrations, and he's going to be making pendants.
Okay. Thank you. I don't see any hands up here for people for show and tell. I think Dux has something. He just raised his hand. He doesn't have it up on his Zoom, but he raised his hand.
I can't find it.
Oh, there you go. You can't find your hand, or you can't find the button.
This is different when you're only one up here. Can you highlight me? I'll show
Yeah.
it. I make a lot of slatted vases like this. Let me see what I'm doing here. I've shown this before. Am I highlighted, or is it me?
I'm having trouble. I don't have a highlight button on my Zoom now. Jim?
Well,
okay. Sorry, I was trying to get a picture up. Hang on. Zoom.
For some reason, the little dots
Don't appear.
don't. Well, I do.
I
Maybe.
spotlight.
here we go. Here we go.
I got it.
I was going to say maybe it's me because I'll tell you.
Yeah, thank you.
Zoom,
Okay.
Zoom has redone me because they have a 32-bit computer or something. But
yeah.
Anyway, I make a lot of vases like this. This is a flat piece of wood that's been cut bandsawed. Speaking of bandsaws, I use it all the time. So these are straight cuts. You cut till you're blue in the face, and then you got your half done. But anyway, I make a lot of these, and I make all different shapes, and some work and some don't. And this is one that maybe didn't work. I don't know. Anyway, I ended up with all these leaves. So Rita says you can't throw those out, so I put them together and made this. This is a screw. There's a 3-inch drywall screw embedded in here that goes all the way through to the end of here. And this is a washer. And these clamp, these things all move.
Wow.
Make a liar out of me, right? But anyway, you can take this apart and take them out and turn them and move them and do whatever you want with them. It's just fun to play with. And I can make other sets rather than throw them out.
Now I got to ask you a question, Jim. Do you go to sleep, or do you dream about these things and wake up?
You wouldn't believe, I got so many things I could do. I got, in fact, I must have 10 projects here that I could do. There's no end to this. This was just to use up this scrap, because Rita said you can't throw this out. And I've got dozens of these. I've got at least a dozen out there. In fact, this one you can see is not flat. This has been steam bent, and the other half of it was, I don't remember what the other half of it did, but this was probably about this long, and it did something else.
What kind of wood is that?
This is oak, red oak. Anything works, I think. In fact, you can even glue it up. This is a piece of birch. This is, I don't know, 7 inches wide and 2 feet long or something. And you cut down to about an inch, and then you cut down to, or no, 1.5 or 2 inches on both sides, and you bandsaw back and forth until you can't see straight, and then you're about half done usually. And then I stand it on edge, and I sculpt it. I sculpt it different ways, and when you get all done, you can bend this. You can roll it. You can roll it up, make a cylinder out of it, like that.
I suppose you could put a bellows inside and make it an accordion, huh?
And you can open this up, yeah. But you can airbrush it. My next one I'll airbrush, but this thing, I took it apart. When you take it apart, this is the base. Got a screw in it.
Right.
And then this is the, I hold this right. There's a screw embedded in the middle of here, and epoxied, and this is just a washer. And then these were the leaves that came out of I don't even remember what it was. This was years ago. But anyway, they seemed like they were too nice to throw out, so you could. This was put together back to back like this. But you put them together like that, or you can make series of these things that are, this would be this way. This one would be this way. You could do this all day. Or you could throw them all out. Here again, you talked about bandsaw. I bandsaw these thin. I got a new blade. I'm trying to think. It's a 3/4 blade. I was looking for a 3-tooth to. A 3-tooth doesn't just cut rough. If you push it fast, it's going to cut rough. If you take your time, it cuts straight and it cuts smooth.
Huh.
The latest one I got, when I went to buy this thing, which they said they had in stock, it wasn't there. I bought a 3-tooth blade, a 3-2 blade. It's 3 teeth for an inch and 2 teeth for an inch. Costs twice as much. Does a super nice job. Somehow, I think it takes the harmonic out of it or something, but it does a really nice job. And then I don't even use my planer anymore. I use that drum sander, but these are all, I don't know, I think they're 532. But I can take these down to, I don't know, 15 thousandths if I want. I make veneer and all kind of stuff with it.
What kind of bandsaw do you use?
Raycon.
Mm-hmm.
Raycon, I don't know, what is it, 15-inch or something?
Right.
But
that's that's cool. That's a really cool thing you've got.
Anyway, yeah, you can make all kinds of these out of scrap, and they're all just different.
Jim, I think the 3-2 blade teeth arrangement has some also to do with clearing out the wood, because I've read about them. It's been a while, but they serve a purpose. But I didn't hear about the harmonics. That may make sense too. So, yeah.
I know one thing, it costs twice as much. I think I paid about $45 for the damn thing.
Wow.
Wow.
But I only use it for straight. When I do curves, I buy bandsaw blades, I don't know, 10 at a time or something, like Bert. I throw them out, but we also wear them out. But I try to cut half one way and half the other way. So like my own memory, if I use it half one way and half the other way, it balances out, I guess.
I think you should write an article in Woodturning about that.
Yeah. This will be an article, I hope. But anyway, I make a lot of these things. These are, you turn a base or something for it, and I made, I don't know how many of these.
It's nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Jim, you're going to have to unspotlight folks because for some reason either Zoom updated
yes.
thing or I don't know how to use it anymore.
Okay, I'll pay attention. Usually John's ahead of me on that, and so I don't do it very much. He gets me quicker. I'll watch for it. So, hey, by the way,
So
speaking of bandsaw blades, anybody here using a carbide tipped bandsaw blade?
Yeah, they're not worth the money.
No, that's what I was going to say too. I tried one. I got talked into one by Woodcraft up in Harrisburg. I thought it was this. He said, "Oh, to make a smoother cut, you won't even do anything." Well, the blasted thing. I think the backs are pretty rigid on them. It broke pretty quickly, and I didn't have good success. I just didn't know if I was the goofball or if it was the blade.
Jim, I use them a lot because I'll cut aluminum with my bandsaw, and I cut aluminum really well.
Yep, I can believe that. Yep.
So, Jim, if you make John the co-host, he'll have the ability to do what he needs to do.
Thank you for telling me that. I hadn't made him co-host yet. Thanks. Appreciate that.
I'm still an apprentice, so Jim's not sure that I'm ready for this responsibility.
You're now a co-host, sir.
All right. Well, let me see now. Oh, look at that. I can spotlight John Chalikian.
Thanks, Bert.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, John.
I have two bowls. This is a natural edge. It's a shellac finish.
Wow.
I guess it's about 5 inches in diameter and 3/4, 5 inches high.
What kind of wood, John?
It's walnut.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I've got a collection of it from two friends. They had trees that came down, and one I helped take down. Another one.
Hey, hold on a second, John. How'd you get that shellac so shiny? Did you buff it? Shiny.
No. I also used let's see, on this one I think I used Mylan's friction polish. So that's with that.
Okay.
This one still in process. It's about 10.5 inches in diameter and about 3 inches high. It's not really done yet. I haven't finished the bottom. I'm still working on it. This has it's pretty shiny, and this has I wet sanded it with walnut oil, and then actually just this morning I put like 2 coats of shellac, 2-pound shellac, and applied it with a cloth, and got it to about 1100 RPM, spinning and rubbing at that pace. I have a question for the group. I want an opinion. You see the band here, and I'm thinking whether I want to add some color to that. and I just wanted to get some people's input. I was thinking, I don't know, like a color, and then I was thinking some kind of I forget what it's called, but where it's sort of an embellishment. It's just a variegated color.
You mean like an inlay?
No, not well. I guess an inlay would do, but
Except that means you got to put it back on the lathe, right?
yeah. Well, I haven't taken the bottom off yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think it will
Anyway,
spoil. I think it will spoil it. If you try to color that with that dark wood, I think you'll spoil the configuration and the appearance of it. Personal opinion.
I agree.
I agree. I wouldn't mess with it.
I agree as well. I think changing the band would make would take away from the dark, beautiful color.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was up
Such a rich color. It's such a rich color, John.
Yeah. Yeah, it has some very nice figure to it. Yeah, and I just appreciate the input. I couldn't decide, and so thank you.
John,
Yes.
can you show the inside again in the light? Are they polishing marks you've got in the bottom?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this is not done.
Sorry, I've only just come back on again. I had a visitor come, so I only got through to the end of your conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not finished. That's okay. Fine. Forget what I was going to say.
Okay. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, how would you think of getting those? They look like wax marks to me, but I may be wrong.
Yeah. Well, actually, after the shellac application, well, I'll probably rub this with like a 600 or 1200 paper, and
Right.
And then,
So can I give you a tip when you do that?
Okay.
Start from the center. Keep your piece of material that you're using on the wood and bring it right off to the edge of your bowl, so that anything that you're bringing off will be taken off the edge of the bowl and it will disappear.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't go the other way. Center outwards.
All right. Very good advice. Thank you. I'm thinking after I, buff it up or braid it a little bit with the, fine paper, putting I call it a French polish, which is a mix of shellac and boiled linseed oil.
As I say, if that gets a bit too thick, bring it off as not too much pressure, but the pressure just to be able to bring all of any surplus wax or anything else that's surplus to the polish. It comes off and you literally bring it off the edge of the bowl and it disappears in, shall we say, thin air. But of course it's still on the rag, but you've taken it off completely out of the center of the bowl.
Okay.
So, Don, I have an ignorant question. I'm not all that knowledgeable about finishes. Are you also looking, given the finishes that John's using here, are you also relying to an extent on the temperature? In other words, build up some heat. Does that help that?
Yes.
A little bit of heat, but not too much, because if you do, you won't bring the wax off. You'll be putting wax on as well, because you'll be leaving it behind. So it wants to be just, shall we say, like tepid. But not too hot, because if you do, you'll find that the wax is melting. You're leaving it behind on the cloth. You want it so you can just see you moving that surface off the bowl and up the sides. The only reason I brought this up was, John, because I could see the lines as you hold it in a Pacific light. And as I say, forgive me, I wasn't here to hear you hadn't finished it. And that just spoilt the inside of the bowl for you if it had been finished.
What RPM would you suggest?
I would suggest somewhere around about 800.
Okay.
Can I butt in too here? If I go back to the color, years ago, it's at least 20 years ago, I bought some turquoise mineral powder from Craft Supplies. And I love it on dark wood as filling knot holes or whatever. I could see a crisp band, maybe the width of a parting tool, but you'd have to be really careful cutting the edges. It depends on the shape. I'm not sure it would suit putting it in the middle of that band that's there because of the shape of the beads that you have. Anyway, yeah. I think it would look nice. I have a walnut piece sitting outside my den door here where I did with turquoise in walnut, and it comes out really nice. And then to the polishing, rather than the sandpaper, I would go to 4-0 steel wool. Or again, at one of the symposiums, I picked up some 6-0, I think it is. It's extremely fine. And it won't load up as much as sandpaper. And I would put monocrystalline, like a Renaissance wax, rather than a carnauba or something like that. And it goes on lighter and tends not to streak as much. You only need a tiny amount. You're only putting a few molecules.
What's the wax?
Renaissance wax. It's really in the paraffin series. So it's a petroleum wax, but it's a hard petroleum wax. And it's in heptane or hexane, so it's very creamy in the can. You get a tiny little thing that's 4 inches high, and I have the Lee Valley equivalent, which was made here in Toronto. There's a company, International Waxes, over in the east end of Toronto, which was a customer of mine 50 years ago. Specializes in all of that kind of stuff. It's a great final wax. It doesn't absorb moisture like carnauba, and it's really considered a museum wax. So, but you'll see lots of references if you Google it on the forums.
Well, I'll look for it this weekend at the Symposium.
It's quite expensive, but it's like the Osmo finishes. The little can lasts a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know?
Over here, we call it Renaissance.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, Mike.
Hey, John, this brings up one observation I have. It seems like finishes are almost an individual matter. There are so many of them. After a while, you have to decide what works for what you're trying to do. Now, you may have a couple different ones back there, but some guys just have one finish on the shelf and they turn stuff that it works. Like I love Mahoney's walnut oil for any vase or anything like that, but I have lacquer in there. I got, I do not use like any of the polys. I do not like lacquer, but the Osmo is pretty neat. So, it's always an interesting conversation to say, hey, what would you guys use? And that's part of the learning here. Some guys have used certain stuff that I go, hey, he got a good deal. So I give it a try,
It's funny, Jim, you talk about that. This is a little specific and maybe too deep, but one of the reasons that Angela wanted Echo Tanaka to come is not just to show how she turns her beautiful pieces, but also she is an expert at Japanese lacquer using, I think it's Yurishi oil, which is, I think it's like, and it dries beautifully. Her lacquer finishes are just amazing.
Meaning they're shiny? Meaning what? John, what do you mean by they're amazing?
I would say they're lustrous. They're very, they have shine to them, but they're not mirror finishes. They're just a nice luster.
Yeah, it's the I saw her demonstration. I guess it was last year at the AAW. I saw it on the recordings, and it's the Japanese lacquered.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful finish. However, that's something I'm never going to do because you want to talk about involved. I mean, it is a multi-day, many steps, beautiful finish, but wow. It's, and that's, I guess, I mean, she does it in a production level, and the Japanese, everybody has such a profession that they concentrate on one thing. And that is one that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
The other thing is too, Bonnie Klein was reminding me that lacquer like that is very poisonous, and you have to be very cautious using it that you don't hurt yourself.
Yes. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart or the I don't want to say ignorant, but people who are not aware of what they're messing with.
It's not for people that won't read the directions, right?
The other thing is, I think John C, not Z, mentioned that the time. That's one of my criteria when it comes to finishing. I don't want to wait a week. I don't want to wait a day. I want to see it looking good. I want to get it off the lathe. I want to take it in and show it to the wife, and friends. So I'm not one that likes to hang around waiting on finishing to get done. My bias. So
I'm kind of with you. Although if you look at her work, it's just stunning. It's worth the time she takes if you're into that kind of work.
Yeah.
So Jim, you have your hand up. So while you're there, do you want to show us what you're going to show us?
Yeah, might as well. I'm following up a little bit on last week's conversation.
Okay. Well, it'll be new to me, so.
Oh, you didn't watch the video? You're supposed to watch the video when you don't get it. So,
I had my hands full, man.
I know. Well, last week, you guys had a big conversation. This is where I'm at. This thing has taken all week. I've had a few sidetrack things with my partner being in the hospital again. And so I didn't get out to the shop very much. But this is kind of where I'm at. I did manage, and I'm going to show you a couple of mounting things that based on what you guys said last week, I did some changes on the mounting, and I'll go back to review them. This is where I'm at now, and I'm going to sand down some more. I'm not sure what finish I want to put on the black. I intentionally did black because when I turned this piece, as I got deeper, I got into the big knot hole that it's sitting on, and boy, that became a real problem, especially when I was turning off center an 8-inch wide propeller with sticking more out 4 inches more on one side than the other. So when you're like cutting it, you would hit air on one half, and then anyways, but it got bouncing and rough, and so it was a little scary. But just so you guys know, I did video all of it in the event that it came off. It did not. It was not my goal to get it off. Let me go back to, Doug said to me, this was done before I started cutting down into it. Doug said to me, Jim, I use supports across the top, and I'll show you the other way he labels them. Plus, I put a lot of hot glue on. This base was CA glued on, and it's about a 4-inch circle onto that platform. So I said, I don't have room on the form. It was already balanced up, but I said, I had already cut another 16-inch circle on 3/4-inch plywood as per you guys recommend. I said, no, no, no. I've already had this thing balanced up, so I added this, and I'm going to go to the next one. And Doug takes a lot of pieces and butts them up against it and hot glue them. I went ahead and hot glued all around. The other side the same way, and there's another block of wood down here. And I had no trouble with it coming off. I could get it up to 500 RPMs. The biggest challenge I have, and I should have grabbed the other video, I had to use an extension. This is made by Rikon, by the way. I think it's a 7-inch extension. I had to use my banjo, then the extension, and then this. Well, you can imagine the force when you have a propeller turning. It started vibrating. Well, the next thing I did was put blocks of wood under the banjo and hot glued them fast to where my lathe is mounted on a big heavy beam, which really helped. And if it got any worse, I was going to put from the floor up to the outside of this, but I managed to turn it okay. And it did not come off. Now the bite with me, the good part but the bite is it's a mess to get rid of that hot glue. I use a hot gun on it and scrape it off. And it worked. I got it off. It's off, as you might guess here by the picture. But so the counterweights are where they are. I ended up drilling a hole through on this side because I couldn't get a strap across here. So I sacrificed and drilled a hole through and bolted it fast to the background. I did change. I have 12 screws on a 6-inch faceplate on the 1-inch MDF, and I took out all the ones I had in and put back in a really stronger screw. I had no loosening of it or anything. So that's the update. I didn't have time this week to try to pull together a video, and I'm going to embellish these surfaces. I was originally going to put a little round turnings in here, but there's no way. Plus, I sloped it down, which was not originally a plan. I don't have a profile enough to show it, but it slopes from this circle down to another inch lower on either side. I'm contemplating again whether I'm going to cut off this whole end where I had cut another knot off and stuck it in. By the way, milliput was my favorite help here on this one. I had a knot hole in the bottom. I put black milliput in to fill that up. I had one on this other knot I cut off and glued on the bottom for a support on the right. I filled that with milliput, and that was part of the reason I made the bowl black in the middle. I may still grind it and chisel it out, but leave it with some stain that sticks in there. I used trans tint for this, in alcohol based.
So Jim, for the removing the hot glue, use denatured alcohol just on a paintbrush. Take a paintbrush, put denatured alcohol, and leave it for about 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. It'll flash off. Take a second layer of denatured alcohol and paint it on the edges. And in about 15 minutes, you can grab the hot glue and it'll peel off like sticky goo. Like I couldn't believe how well it releases. And then you don't have to pick it off. You can basically wash it off. And it's denatured alcohol, not methyl hydrate. It's ethanol. Yeah. Denatured,
yeah. That's what I used to clean up. There was some that stuck onto my base, which is bark that I want to keep on the bottom of this piece. So I heated it because in the past, and then I can scrape it off with a chisel. But I thank you so you say if I would put just denature on right away, it would like dissolve it enough that I could peel it off.
It softens the bond between the hot glue and whatever substrate it is, and you don't slop it on like don't throw a gallon of it on. I use a little paintbrush and I just paint over the hot glue, and it softens. It does something chemically to the soft glue, and it doesn't hurt the bark, or at least that's my experience, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff and boy, I just, again, I had CA glued this as per Lyle Jameson, because I've had a lot of good success with it, but this being off center, I got a little worried, and Doug said, Jim, just hot glue that on for extra protection. So I did, and it didn't come off. So
Wow.
I'm not sure that I'm more determined to be able to do this thing than whether I've created a great piece of art, but I'm having some interesting challenges and learning experiences. So,
Jim,
yeah.
Jim, you mentioned
Yes.
what you weren't certain what to do with that centerpiece where you got it black.
Yes.
Why don't you spray it with a lovely gloss black paint and then use the iridescent paints on it? That is just set up for it.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to either dye the bark underneath. I think I'm going to leave the wings lighter colored.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some cup cutter embellishment. I've already started on it last night late, but I didn't have a picture of it. And partly it is to hide these two holes over here that I created when I put the bolt through. But thank you. I was wondering if maybe in spite of my hating lacquer, if lacquer might have been the way. So you're saying use
a gloss black paint,
okay,
spray can, and
yes,
then use the iridescent paints. And
yes,
you could, like Gerald showed us last week on that beautiful
yes,
pot he made.
yes.
Use that, and then any paint you've got, you can just turn off any waste from these wings and embellish it however you like. But you've got something there. I mean, you could even, with an Arbortech or something, flame cut these wings, again, spray the whole thing black before you do it, and then put your iridescent paint in here, and you can then put different colours into the flame cuts that you've made around these outsides.
Boy,
if you're not certain what I mean, I can go and get a bowl and show you.
If you want, Don, that'd be great. I like the idea. I'm still mulling over because of the interruptions I had with personal stuff I needed to do. I had time to think about it. So I was gonna turn some as per Farini Stewart. Use some of that over on the left wing. On the right one already, I've turned a trailing circle of a big cup cutter from over this foot all around. But yeah, hey, well that's good hope. So help, thank you. I got at it kind of late, so I didn't have very many pictures to show you. I did look through my video. The interesting thing for me, and again, it's probably a comment very similar to finishes. I go, what is the best tool to cut across this? You know, like what's the best tool to clean this out and then to smooth the wings down around. I went through all my favorite ones, started with a chisel, a gouge. I ended up trying a scraper. I used the scraper at the end, though, to smooth it out really good. I'm a Jimmy Clues mate. I love his mate tools. And they're good and strong, and they can take a good I want to say abusing. They can take a good bit. So I used that almost exclusively to smooth it, to remove the waste. And then I used gouge to smooth it down, you know, and then sanded it real good with my air oscillating sander. So
a large fingernail would do it, or even a 1/2-inch cutter.
Yeah. Good.
I've got the bowl, Jim, but I need you to I need John to highlight it.
What you mean? Make it bigger
so you can see it, because at the moment it's only on the small screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. is it too, hang on, John.
I just
There.
put this
There
spotlight
I
on.
did. Sorry, I didn't realize I hadn't blown it all the way up.
That's okay.
That's as big as I can make it done. Does that help?
No, to show
Don
you
wanted
the
his.
bowl I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let me quit here. I'm done with this. Let me stop. Oh, wow. Hey, I think I remember this one.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's gorgeous. Well, you've certainly upped the ante for me.
Hey, Don, remind us how you got those beautiful random looking pattern in the bowl.
Right. This, you mean on the iridescent?
Yeah, on the bluish colors.
The here?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Well, as I said, the whole thing was sprayed black. Then I put gold and blue iridescent droplets on, and then with a straw, a drinking straw, blew it. And
Wow.
blew it all over until it came like that.
Yeah, that's something else.
And then the others were just, after I'd cut them out with the Arbortech, I then very lightly with a spirit dyes went round in 3 places with red and 3 places with green with some yellow, and just produced it. And I think that would enhance that bowl that Jim's got, that blank that Jim's got. I think that would enhance that no end.
I love your treatment of the middle. That's a wonderful idea. How deep are those Arbortech cuts on the brim of that, or the side?
Millimeter?
Oh, okay. I have the
Okay.
Arbortech. I have a whole bunch of Arbortech cutters. I should try it. So
Yeah, it's just on there. You just, you've got your Arbortech. I'm
Yep.
going to use a
Yep.
round glass, and you just cut it and make your patterns as you go.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Good idea, Don. Let me keep working toward that goal. I think that's it. I just didn't know what I want to do. I'll have to spray it with glossy black, though, to start.
That brings the shine up, and then you can
Yep.
put a lacquer on it if you wish to just highlight it. But I did use a spray acrylic lacquer on it,
Right.
so that you got the sheen, and also to get down into the colors on the Arbortech cutting.
Yeah. The problem with my blank is it had a lot of, I guess, wormholes in it. So as I cut them, I freed them up and I filled them with black CA, thinking, what am I going to do with them? But anyways, thank you. Very helpful.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Kai.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
I belong to these people with a genetic defect who can't throw any wood away. And my neighbors keep giving wood to me, so I ended up with a lot of smaller branches, and I wanted to do something with them, and I turned some wheat pots. I want to show you. So let me try. Okay, can you see these?
Yes.
Yep.
So they are between, I think the small one here is about 3 inches, and the large one maybe, I don't know, 12 inch, no, not 12, 8 inches, something like that high. Yeah, and it was quite a lot of fun to turn them and get the shapes right. The wood is yew. I hope I pronounce it right. This
Yes.
one and this one. This is, the small one is lilac. And this is a really nice wood here. It's sugarloaf spruce. And it's got all these little nice branches in here. And this one is golden shower, the one in the background. And I saw an article by Jim actually in Woodturning magazine shortly after I had done these and compared the shapes. So I think they are quite similar, these here. A difference is I felt I had to round over the edge down here, and as the wood wasn't, or the branch wasn't symmetrical, I just took a little sanding disc and rounded the edge over here so that it's lifted a little bit off the surface, and did the same with these. And yeah, and I think that looks nice. And also I left a little bit on of the branch on here. I think that's another design alteration compared to the ones Jim showed. But I agree with Jim, they are really nice little objects to make.
They're very beautiful shapes, Kai.
Yeah, thank you.
And the grains, you know, I'm presuming that like on the left one, you know, you have a little bit of dark, then it gets light and dark. So you were having fun figuring out what the wood's going to expose as you get into it.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of bark left.
Right.
Yeah.
Very.
Kai, that's a beautiful photograph. Can you tell us a little bit about the background you used?
Yeah.
The background, it's a special paper or cardboard made for photography, which is a darker gray here, and then it's getting lighter and lighter until it's nearly white up here. So that's the background, and I used a studio light as well, studio LED light with a diffuser put on it to have light from the right-hand side from here.
Yeah, the photograph really enhances the work.
Yeah, and it's just an iPhone photograph, so it's no special camera, and it's an older iPhone. It's not a new one. Just one camera in there. So I have a few more photos. So that's the golden shower one with some flowers put in, and I put test tubes into them, so I can put water in there, but you have to change the water every day with a kind of a flower that big.
Hey Kai,
Yeah.
your stuff is beautiful. My question is, do you have, now you're leaving the pith, do you have any problems with cracking checks?
Not so far yet, and I hope they will stay like that. This one has been lying around for several years, so I hope I won't get any cracks in there. I have some more recently cut wood, like the sugarloaf spruce, but that seems to be rather stable, so I hope it won't crack. And I drilled out, this is about 4 inches deep, the hole for the test tube. So at least I drilled out part of it. It's not hollow, as in hollow turning.
Right.
Just drilled out.
Thank you. Beautiful.
So that's another one. And I also tried to turn some wooden flowers when there is no more supply of fresh ones in winter. So that was one try, using a needle head in here, or a needle stuck through the flower top here and into the straw. And I also tried some colored ones. Again, I watched a video by Mike Pierce before I did that. So all the ideas were already around, but it's good fun doing these, and I colored them using dye, spirit dye, and acrylic paint.
Are they all one piece? The stem, is that a separate piece, like a dowel, or did you turn
it
that?
is. Yeah, it's just kind of a straw from higher grass that I got from from one of my dog walks. I brought it back with me, and then I colored it with dye as well. And here is a little bit of the acrylic paint on at the top as well. And this is part of the turned flower, the upper part, and that is painted with acrylic paint as well. The problem was once I put dye on this, the dye was soaked into the wood, and I had a lot of blue dots in the lower part here. So to cover them, I put acrylic paint on them. It wasn't possible to use green dye here because the blue was shining through it.
Well, you should have, so I think you need to start having more fun, Kai.
Yeah.
That's all beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Another one.
So nice.
So
Yeah.
Kai, did you use that skew to make those flowers? Like I bought one of the skews from a company in Germany that's called Sharp and Soft or Sharp and Smooth, with a little bit of a hook on the end of a skew specifically designed for making those flowers, and it works perfectly.
Yes, I did actually. I ground one of my skews myself into this hook version, and this works nicely. You can do it with an ordinary skew as well, but the one with the hook rolls the leaves more nicely or better.
Yeah, I was doing them with a regular skew and having some success, and then I watched a video of a German company, the guy was doing it, and as soon as I seen it, I had to have one. It cost me more for shipping than the tool was worth, but I love it. It's my go-to when I make flowers. It just works.
Show us the tool next week, somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go and get it. I just stop this here, and you can go on, and I get the tool, and if there's time left, I can hold it into the camera.
Okay. Well, we only have a few minutes, but Mike, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, if I can do a share here. When Jim was talking about or not Jim, it was I'm sorry, I can't remember. This is the turquoise in walnut, and I'm not even sure you can buy this anymore. I got it from Craft Supplies USA at least 20 years ago, but it's a real nice color. And I thought after I dug out this picture in terms of Jim and the offset, when I mounted this is almost 24 inches. It's almost the extent of my 2436. I mounted a piece of plywood across here and then put a faceplate. So I found the center and then I could turn the tenon. But I did add some weights. I forget exactly. I couldn't find the pictures. But anyway, that was a challenge in an offset. That thing weighed about 10 pounds, I think. It's about 4 inches thick at the thickest point. It was a walnut crotch that I got from my niece. And let me see if I can. Mike, turquoise is wonderful with walnut. I love the turquoise color. Last week, Jim, after you talked about mounting, I dug up some stuff that I have about 2 gigabytes of stored stuff. I don't know how many of you know of Terry Scott. He's not active on a lot of forums. He's been very active on World of Woodturners since the beginning in 2001. And Terry does these, what the hell he calls them, burl trees. They're a limb with burls on them, and he'll have any number of bowls along the edge of it. But this is the contraption he put together. From that, I have one that I made. It's 23.5 inches in diameter, 2 layers of good plywood. It wasn't Baltic, but it was a maple furniture plywood. And he is just a master at it. This is another setup that he had done with a piece of burl. Wow. You can see all the straps and places for counterweights, and he uses anything he can find. He's got jaws from chucks and whatever's got a hole in it that you can screw to the plywood. And it really does make it very easy. I have one a burl piece I did with 3 bowls in it, sort of akin to what you wanted to do, Jim. I've shown it years ago on here. Anyway, I just wanted to
throw those in.
That's crazy.
Mike, apparently that last picture you were not you were getting ready to do another one. The tailstock was in low below.
No, those weren't my pictures. Those were Terry's.
Ah, okay,
That
gotcha.
stuff what I do is I used to grab, or I would print the PDFs and then store it. I have 60 categories of stored wood turning information. I don't know how many files, but it evolved. I started it in 2000 when I got back into turning. And in those days, the search engines weren't as powerful. Anyway, you never find it the second time. You know, you see it and don't save it. So this way, I would just print the PDF or a JPEG, do a screen share, whatever, and then I sort them out and I just add to it. I'm still adding to it.
That's cool.
And,
Does Kai have the chisel?
Yeah.
We're out of time, right? But,
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock, but Kai, show us what you've got quickly.
Can you see the tool?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and you see that little hook?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'll try to do a video how to use it, so I can show you maybe next time.
That would be cool.
that'd be great.
By the way, also in relation to weed pots, the latest wood turning, issue 413, has a whole big article about weed pots. I'm just very interested because I just inherited, quote unquote, 6 old porch posts which have southern pine weed pods ahead. So
yeah, have fun with them.
Thanks.
All right. Well, it's 11:01, so we will see everyone next week. And once again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, Mike.
You did well, John.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He did.
See you, Don.
Cheers. Take care, Mike.
Hopefully to see everybody on this weekend.
Wood shop. Thank God for wood.